Alright, so we might as well start off with the most recent stuff that's happened. My channel got a strike. The evidence being right here. I received a strike on May 9th, 2021 that was supposed to expire on August 7th of this year. And so just so you guys know, when you get a strike on YouTube, if it's your first strike, you take a week of not being able to make videos. Now, this isn't the first time my channel's had a strike, but the previous stuff has fallen off over time with my channel. So I'm safe, nothing to worry about. But as you noticed, I'm actually able to upload right now. We'll get into why. So, what video of mine actually caused this strike? Well, it was the video entitled, "Yes, Lauren, of course Nick Fuentes is banned from flying." And the reason that I was given was that, well, there was hate speech in the video, apparently. Now, I appealed this, and it's largely going to feature in the story we have today. We have a very interesting story to get into, because it's not just about my channel getting a strike. I'm not going to focus this all on me, but I'm going to focus this onto the type of people who caused this to happen. Now, I already knew that by covering Nick Fuentes in any capacity, even covering someone standing Nick Fuentes, I knew that there would be repercussions to my channel. There always are. In fact, actually, if you look through my backlog, videos that I've done on Nick Fuentes do very disproportionately well compared to other stuff on my channel, but they always have a ridiculously high dislike ratio, and that's because of these lovely little incels called Groypers. For those who don't know, Groypers are the Nick Fuentes stans. We're going to go ahead and call them Fuentementalists here on stream, though, because they like being called Groypers. That's what they are. They're Fuentes' Groyper army. They're his racist frogmen who are just asking questions about the Holocaust. Guys, no, seriously. They really are. So, what do these Fuentementalists do whenever you make a video critical of their favorite boot goose-stepping Nazi who cum guzzles Hitler's... We're not going to get into that. We are on Twitch right now, and I don't know exactly how far into that joke I can go without violating terms of service. Something that Nick Fuentes actually did quite a lot, which is why he used to be a YouTube streamer, but then he got banned from that. He had the ability to stream on Twitch, but I believe he got banned from that too, and, you know, Facebook, I'm fairly certain he's not able to do much on there either, and then there's DLive, which of course he was streaming on until he got banned from that, because always he gets banned off of everything, because he violates terms of service. We'll get into the violations that he gets into in another video. For today, we're just going to deal with this particular story, all right? So we have this strike right here. This wonderful strike. This thing that, honestly, I kind of want to frame. I'm not even going to lie. I really want to frame this thing and just put it in my office. So I posted a tweet. Guys, don't expect any content for a week on my channel. Looks like the Groypers, sorry, the Fuentementalists, mass flagged my video on Fuentes and Lauren Chen. Because when you are critical of Nick Fuentes in any way, shape, or form, they all come down and flag your video, either with flags of hate speech, flags of any type of false flag they can put up, and also they tend to dislike bomb the video. This is why I have a 43,000 view video on Nick Fuentes with about a 30% like ratio, because of course Fuentes fans found it, as they do. Now, we're going to go in just a single specimen, a single type of individual who is a fan of Nick Fuentes, and we're going to go ahead and commit a hasty generalization fallacy and argue that most of them are like this. But if you don't believe me, any interactions you have with them will likely end up like this. So, of course, we've got the unusual V3 here, showing a Nick Fuentes picture. A guy named Max, get shit on. A guy named Winning, owned. A guy who has an America First hat, which is Nick Fuentes' show, saying, let's go. Guy named John Smith, oh, what's that? A little taste of your own medicine? I thought you liked censorship. Now enjoy it. See, I've never said that I like censorship, but I also like making sure that in the marketplace of ideas, we actually have just a little bit of regulation. And we can go a little further in these. can go a little further in these. Haha, fuck yourself, loser. To which I told him, yeah, I did fuck myself. I came already. What's next? Which all they have is, you know, little emojis after that point. That's it. That's all they've got. My suggestion to anyone dealing with Nick Fuentes' stands is to just roll with whatever they throw at you. Because they're looking for a reaction. And it could be argued that this video is a reaction. So they're going to go and say, aha! We got under his skin! We won! But, guys, please learn the difference between me giving you attention and me farming you for content. At the end of the day, I'm going to enjoy using you. So, the person we're going to be focusing on more is this guy here, called Baked Alaska Stan. And I don't want to get into all the problems with Baked Alaska, but he puts up this picture saying, "This you?" And of course, for those who don't know, yes, this is me from 3 years ago. In fact, actually, this is my kitten Terror. Isn't she adorable? Isn't she just absolutely fucking great? She was literally in my pocket for this picture. So, and this wasn't actually a picture. This was a video on my channel. Not on my channel, on my Twitter. And I posted it, like I said, 3 years ago, which means this individual, upon me posting that thing about Nick Fuentes, took an hour of his time, and I don't know how he managed this in an hour. He combed through 3 years of my tweets in order to finally find a picture with my face in it that showed me looking down, which of course means that my double chin would be a lot more visible. In fact, actually, most of you in the audience, even if you're not overweight, which I am, if you look down, you can get a double chin. Okay? So, posted the whole, "This you?" So, here is where we engage in rolling around in the mud. I respond with, yes, and Tara was such a cute small baby then. Because she was. Honestly, Tara was a great little kid. To which he puts up this little picture, I guess, trying to communicate that I'm really angry behind the happy face that I'm putting on, which, I'm just going to be honest, I wasn't angry. I knew what was going to happen when I put up that video, and I knew that I was going to experience a good bit of this going forward. This is actually what I want. So, if you are a fundamentalist, feel free. Go ahead. I mean, obviously don't engage in harassment, but if you want to say things like, you're fat, or you live in your mother's basement, well, you know what? Here, we're just going to go ahead and continue the video, because, as you'll find out, those aren't exactly original insults. I respond to this saying that, nah, I'm seriously thankful. I kind of missed Terror when she was that tiny. She's grown so big now. This is Terror now. She doesn't fit in my pocket anymore. She's so big now. And she's so cute. She's so fluffy. She is so fluffy. She's a good bean. Now, granted, person tried to go forward and do more. When I said that Tara was such a small baby then. I don't understand. Which one's the dog? First of all, dumbass, that's a cat. So we go through pointing out that, no, that's a cat. We're both cats. I'm literally a cartoon cat. It's what I do. It's what I do. So he goes, you're trying way too hard to show me that you're not offended. He goes, I mean, have you considered that I'm not? Because at this point, no, I'm not offended. This man's literally trying too hard. And as people were showing me during the course of this, he was blocking every other person. Every other person in this interaction. He kept on blocking. Because he couldn't handle dealing with people. So, here's King Frustrated Atheist. Got blocked just for interacting here. Here's Friar Tug. Got himself blocked. Oh no, they limit who can view their tweets now. Apparently they could only wrestle in the mud with one person at a time. This is the fun thing about bullying. When you hyper-focus, you've only got one person to deal with. Because all I had to do was show you a picture of your own face and you had a meltdown. This pic is you right now. Actually, this man is a little more overweight than me. Not by a lot, but you know, by a little bit. By just a little bit. See, here's what happens when you start rolling around in the mud with these people. Instead of throwing insults, instead of throwing any insults at them, all you have to do is just look at them, roll with what they've said, and point out that it's not even really affecting you. Because if it was affecting you, then of course, you might have an issue. Just a little bit of one. Because they're looking for you to respond. They're looking for you to get angry at them. They're looking for their words to hurt you. And when they don't, when their words don't hurt you anymore, well, it's a little awkward. So, I'm trying to find the rest of this, because there's a whole adventure that goes here. We're gonna find the rest of this adventure here, because I want to make sure that you guys can see it. Here we go. Here's more of the adventure. So, he responds saying, "No, you wouldn't have responded this way. I can smell your grease tears from here." Because I had pointed out to him that I'm not offended. Have you considered that I'm not offended? No, you wouldn't have responded this way if you weren't offended. He desperately needs me to be offended. Completely and totally needs it. Respond by going this way. I could have responded anyway and you would have had this canned response available. As it stands, I've dealt with enough of you types of people to be able to sit back and laugh that this whole thing is what you spend your day doing. Still, thank you for the picture of my cat. Goes, "You've replied to every single one of my tweets about you. I've definitely struck a nerve. I know you're insecure about your weight, but crying about it online isn't going to solve your weight issues. You should try exercising." Now, everybody in chat, I have a question. How often have I talked about my weight? I pretty much talk about it a good amount of the time. Like, yeah, I'm overweight. I have a bad habit. My depression's an issue, so I end up going and getting fast food instead of cooking for myself, which of course is not the healthiest thing to do. It also leads me to being fairly sedentary, so the only exercise I really get is when I'm doing Nerf stuff or when I'm messing with Growlithe, when we're out and taking a walk, or when we're running around or going to the park, unfortunately. But I pointed out that it's more that I find you entertaining. You're giving me something to do, and I enjoy that, so please continue. Mind, at this point, it was about 3-ish p.m. And around that time, I'm not streaming. I was actually just sitting down playing Monster Hunter. This was literally the thing I was doing while I was watching the Bunny Dongo cutscene in Monster Hunter Rise. Because you don't skip Yomogi's cutscene. You do not skip Yomogi's cutscene. Understand? Good! Now, we continue. He says, "You should also change your avatar because it doesn't look like you. The most important part of losing weight is realizing there's a problem." Dude, I don't care. I can literally turn on my camera, and on stream I have quite a few times. Actually, even on Patreon, I don't do my conversations with patrons with the avatar. I do those videos that are on Patreon with just my face. Like, I literally show my real face very, very often. It's just not so much in the content right now, and that mostly comes down to branding. So, I just start responding with memes. More like emotes from my Twitch chat. And actually, you know, if you want to be able to use this emote on my chat, you could always become a subscriber on Twitch, and then you'll have access to this emote and several others. And if we continue our push to partner, then you'll have access to even more emotes as I unlock the ability to use more by being a Twitch partner. So maybe come follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. Be a good idea. Twitch.tv/NecoSuris. I'm going to go and plug myself here. Probably a good time, too, for those who haven't already. So he then responds, "This is why you're fat. It's because you don't do anything but obsess over random people online. I'm actually helping you. Just take a walk. It's for your own benefit." So, Baked Alaska Stan, I have to point out to you, my friend, my buddy, my pal, my internet friendo, who I actually do not know, who's blocked everybody that I know because you're such a brave and powerful warrior. You do realize that you're the one that went through my timeline for 3 years worth of content to find a picture of me with a double chin, right? That's a thing you did. I'm the one obsessing over people when I'm merely having a conversation with you, and you're the one who's freaking out and trying to find a picture of me with a double chin. Pointed out that I actually do walk Growlithe, and I even showed him a picture of Growlithe. Look at her. Look at this baby. Isn't she so cute? She's broken right now. This is Growlithe in broken mode. She's so cute. So fucking adorable. Let's take a break from this insanity to admire Growlithe. What a good puppo. He goes, imagine naming your dog after a Pokemon. You're not a cartoon character, Suris. You're a fat piece of shit who lives in his mother's basement. So now we're just rolling around in the mud. I go, I can imagine naming my dog after a Pokemon. I did. I also own my own house, so there's that. Also, I am fat. Who cares? But I could deal with every one of these canned responses you have. I've heard them all a million times. The unoriginality is honestly quite silly. And it's true. If you've been a frequent viewer of my streams, you know that there are people like this who come in all the time. It was much worse on YouTube. It doesn't happen as much on Twitch, but that's largely because we're still growing on Twitch. It'll happen on here too. Don't worry. But there's a rule the moderators had to engage in, and it's still the rule going forward. Please, come on Twitch. You're allowed to insult me. Get into my chat. Make me feel like absolute garbage if that's what you need to do to make your day feel better. But do me a favor, please. Look at examples like this and do not use any of these canned responses, because if there's one thing I hate, it's not being insulted by people whose lives are infinitely less happy than mine. It's unoriginality. I can't stand when insults are not original. And this is a moment where all the insults were not original. I've heard mom's basement. I've heard you like Pokemon, haha. I've heard you're fat. I've heard all of this. All of it. Even some insults that aren't actually useful against me, like, you'll never be a woman, even though I'm definitely cis and definitely a dude. So, we continue on. He responds with, actually, I've changed my mind. Use your avatar on your stream. I don't want to see your fat, ugly face. To which I point out that, yep, neither do I. Glad we're on the same page. Hashtag VTuber. I don't want to see my ugly face either. I'll look at it when I'm shaving, but honestly, I don't get anything out of this. If this is what gets you off, that's your business, not mine. Since you said I'm not the first one who's done this, do you spurg out like this every time someone calls you fat, or is this a one-off? So I know somebody in my chat's probably going to get upset that I actually said the thing as it was, but that is such an uncommon thing to hear outside of really toxic spaces online. For audio-only listeners, I wanted to at least let them know that that's the word being used. Responding, though, because that's basically insulting people who have Asperger's. I said that, you know, do you think that autism's an insult? Imagine thinking that autism's an insult. Do you think it's, do you try this hard to upset people online who just don't care about you? And then, of course, I can smell the grease tears. Well, I wonder where the tears are coming from. It's no secret. It's you. Well, if it's me, that implies I'm near you. If this is your house, you could at least be a better host. Got any pineapple? No, I can smell it from the computer. You'd have to walk to my house first, and I don't think you'd be able to do that. Why would I walk to your house? I mean, unless you have that pineapple, I could really go for some pineapple. And it was around this time that my video came back online, and my strike was removed. So I just posted, imagine that, the Groyper's lost. And to just show the examples of more Groypers here. Person says, get groiped. I pointed out the video's back online and the strike's removed. And so he responds with, you're still gay! Like, oh god, what? Am I? Do you think I am? That's interesting. But yeah, here's the proof. Just pointed out, you know, get fucked. Got it right there. Strike was removed, got everything back. But Baked Alaska Stan's not even done. He's not done. Don't worry. Where is it? There was an area where he said something. Ah, here it is. Here it is. So there was another little interaction in here where somebody pointed out eating food will forever be better than supporting Nazis. And of course he says that at least Hitler was healthy. Ah, yes. Noted health nut, Adolf Hitler. Totally the only thing he was famous for. Here we go then. There's the line. Hitler was healthy, and thus he's better than people who haven't committed genocide. I found a hat for you, dude. Well, I was looking for the clown hat, but I instead found the clown license. Turns out I'm terrible at memeing. Sorry, but he tried really hard. So first, he said, "Don't think about me for too long. You're still mad after I owned you yesterday. Stay mad." Like, this is literally the only thing this man does. This is what he does with his life. This is what he needs. And when I didn't respond, he stopped having validation. So him, the definitely not obsessed with people online person, tweets at me 4 times. "Are you sure you want to do this again, buddy? Did your mom have to go to work again? Did you not have anyone to talk to? You're like that one autistic kid in a fit of rage because he got made fun of. Don't get me wrong, it's fun after a while, but then it just gets annoying. So I'll let you just bang on the desks. LOL, you have autism." Like, again, he thinks autism's an insult. He just keeps doing this. Like, imagine being so proud of your thread on Twitter. Owning a YouTuber on Twitter, that's the thing you're proud of. Of all the things that you could have accomplished in your life, that's the thing you have. That's your legacy. When you are old and shrinking, and your children are looking over the deathbed, you're about to give your last rattle. And your children ask, "What will you leave us with, Father? What is your legacy to bestow on us?" "I made a VTuber get owned on Twitter.com. That's what you have. That's what you'll be left with. And you know what? It's fucking hilarious. So, with all that said, yes, my channel had a strike. Yes, that strike allowed me to go on quite the adventure on Twitter. And yes, the strike was removed because Groypers lose. And I'm gonna be honest, the fundamentalists, Nazis, sure, we'll go ahead and use that term too. Whatever. Y'all have been losing these battles since 1945. You'd think at some point you'd learn to give up. You know. Probably a lot better to do. Probably a lot more effective use of your time than trying to own random VTubers on Twitter.com. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this little adventure and also the update on the channel strike and all of that fun stuff, please consider hitting the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me over on Twitch if you haven't already, check the description below for all of my links so you can find ways to support the channel if that is something that you would like to do. And as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.